Hi, I'm Terry McLeod, and you are?
Hi, I'm Murray.
Murray. So we're here today at McNally Robinson Booksellers. I'm with the Manitoba Book Awards. I'm the co-host this year with Lara Ray. And I'm just here today to ask people what they're reading. What are you reading?
Well, I'm actually reading two books right now. One is called South of Broad by Pat Conroy, and the other is Sapiens by Yuval Harari.
So what's the difference between these two books?
Completely different, completely different. One's fiction, South of Broad, and very engaging story, bit of a mystery to it. And Sapiens is much more, I guess, kind of cerebral, kind of a history of mankind with a very interesting take on how man has evolved from millions of years ago to the present, and why some things happened and the pressures that led to that. So two kind of totally different books.
What attracted you to these two books?
Well, South of Broad, my wife kept saying he's a really good author, give that a try.
This is Pat Conroy, who's written a lot of fiction, often set on the Gulf Coast, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, these two in the Carolinas. He writes about the Deep South and a lot of background about the culture at that time. This one's kind of set in the 80s or so on a background of what was happening there politically, racially, within their group.
And some of his books have been made into films as well, I understand.
I believe so. I don't think I've seen any.
Okay. So Pat Conroy and the other, Sapiens?
Sapiens.
Is that, it's a scientific book, is it?
I guess you'd call it scientific. It's sort of I guess a historical take, or maybe a bit of a theory, more from an anthropologic point of view on how man has developed. And it gives a really broad perspective all through the millennia and millions of years that humans have been on Earth, and how we may or may not have diverged from other groups, and how we got to where we are now. So it's quite an intense read, and I kind of read bits of that and then go back to the other books.
So is it your wife who recommended the Pat Conroy book?
Yes, she did.
And Sapiens, how did you come to that?
I'm not sure. I may have seen it on a bestsellers list, perhaps, some recommendation. I don't recall, but I'm glad that I picked it up. It's a very different kind of read than what I'm usually reading.
So the title of that one's easy to remember, Sapiens, as in Homo sapiens.
As in Homo sapiens.
And the other book, the Conroy book, is called?
South of Broad.
South of Broad. Murray Kesselman, thank you very much for this.
Thanks, Terry.
Happy reading.